Pulling myself out of a cage was the first thing I did in my life. Before that, it wasn't really my life to live. I was simply existing, stuck in the caves, cowering in fear, trapped in their ways. My own life, own adventures, own stories only really started when I pulled myself out of those caves. That cage designed to trap me. An entire cave system dug out to be a cage made to trap us so that we would be safe, all because one of our own ones fell from the sky. Icarus, the inevitable reason we were in that cage to begin with. But if it wasn't for Icarus and his instincts, Icarus and his love for flying, Icarus and his hope, I would have never pulled myself out of that cage to begin with. So I guess that's why it surprises me when others assume I will stay trapped, let them keep me captive, sit idly by and do nothing. Because pulling myself out of a cage was the first thing I ever did in my life. But it wasn't all uphill from there. In fact, the journey included a lot of lows, falling both literally and metaphorically, and catching myself just in time. And if I did manage to catch myself, I always stood back up. It's not like I hid these challenges or hid my backstory. Just as much as I shared my tales of success and victory and power and joy, I readily share tales of challenge and fear and pain and woe. But just like others expected me to stay trapped in their cages, they also expected me to stay down when defeated, to accept the loss and not stand back up, as if I haven't fallen and stood 1,000 times before. My ancestors hid in the caves because one of our own fell and didn't stand back up. Icarus, I will not just fall, Icarus. Icarus, I will stand back up and stay strong. And while I am always strong and have other skills for nearly any situation, that is not something I always feel the need to show. Because the final thing that others often forget is that I've known a lot of stories. Whether I've lived them myself or heard of them, I know a lot of stories, and how they end. But the one story that has always been with me, even within the caves, is that of Icarus. Icarus who flew and flew. Icarus who thought he knew better than anyone else. Icarus and his ambitions too big for his own good. I know when to pull back away from confrontation, when to not rise to the challenge. Icarus and Hubris. Icarus is what I grew up with, tales of him and his downfall, a warning tale whispered in my ear until I knew his story like my own. Hubris is what I've learned through observing those around me, each a story so unique, yet hubris is often present, and the downfall. Icarus and Hubris, stories that shape my own. Icarus and Hubris.